Admittedly, Boltyn is not on the list of decks that I'm prepping to play against for Battle Hardened Atlanta, but Boltyn's still a good aggro deck, and as an Aurora player, it's good to know my role in the matchup and to understand what cards I should be scared of when playing against Boltyn. So matches like this remind me that in a 7 to 8 round one-day tournament, you never know what you'll run into in the first 3 to 4 rounds, or even in round 7 or 8 if a random deck is having a hot day. So games like this keep me on my toes and make sure that I'm prepared for everything. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the match. All right, we're playing against Boltyn, and I am going second. My opponent picked to go first, but they did not load up any arcane barrier, so being able to keep the second strike. Like, if we can keep the Arc Lightning and the second strike, we'll have a pretty decent turn lined up. Although, admittedly, I'm probably just going to block 5 here and just lean into whatever happens next turn. Okay, so they didn't have anything. I guess they decided they would rather have kept their soul, which I honestly think is a good decision. We can go Arc Lightning. So we have a couple of options here. I can go Arc Lightning, activate Grasp, throw Starfall, throw Fry, and we'll get quite a bit of value in Arsenal the Discharge. Or I can make the decision to Arsenal the Arc Lightning and set up on a different turn. Having a 5-card hand with Arc Lightning is pretty good, and honestly, it's a better play, but I'm curious to know if we should get aggressive now because we have the blue. So let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a 3-card 10. I mean, I think we'll Arsenal it and save it for next turn. We'll just go ahead and save this. We're still able to throw 8 off of 3 cards and activate Aurora here, and then Arsenal the Arc Lightning, and then hopefully there's not like a major piece of disruption here from our opponent or anything. Wishes this one, you draw a card. Okay, so they get to charge and draw a card. I mean, getting equipment out of the way pretty early is good. I wouldn't say that this is like a favored matchup for us. I mean, we can have some pretty good draws, but so can they. They can really apply a lot of pressure. See, Saving Grace is a great card that they can have. They can charge again if they want to. Oh, wait, actually, they don't even have to. They've already charged off the headpiece, so that just really lines up for them to be able to do that. So we will... Okay, so this is a really good-looking turn, to be honest. We are just going to take 7. I don't really have any interest in doing anything. We could block Burn Up, Lightning Surge, and the Face Purgatory here, but I think I just want to keep my hand and just go pedal to the metal. This hand is very powerful and can do a lot of good things. So the Arc Lightning guaranteed deals damage because they don't have AB. It's going to be Burn Up and Shock because we're going to try and get both sides of that effect to come across. Go Again from the Arc Lightning. Snatch with Go Again is very powerful here for us. Throwing the Snatch, I was like basically forces defense reactions or equipment. So they now have the ability to prevent the next 1 damage that would come across to them. So depending on what Rabble looks like, they could soak it up. Actually, I'm sorry, it's going to be eaten by that, right? Oh, they didn't charge. Never mind. Just kidding. This being for 2 is pretty unfortunate because it means they can give a piece of equipment if they want to, or they can just give 1 card. I would really like to have hit a blue there. Or I'm sorry, a red. If we'd hit a red, we'd be in a much better position right now. Hitting that blue is kind of awkward, to be honest. The Arc Lightning deals the damage coming over the top. And instead of arsenaling and setting up, I am going to go for the burn up play here. And I'm just going to throw Lightning Surge. My opponent has used all of their equipment very early on in the game. So I would like to force cards out of their hand here. Hopefully they don't have like a Saving Grace or, you know, a Sink Below or anything. Okay, so they're just taking the damage. They've just decided they must have a Lumina hand. That's all I can come up with. Their hand must be really, really powerful. Yo, they had a Saving Grace. I don't know how I feel about that one. We're going to say no blocks and take 3 here. Beacon of Victory is going to go let them get the Lumina. Now, unfortunately, the value from Face Purgatory is not really real this turn. All right, so that means this is going to come in for what? Oh, they had 2 Luminas. Okay, so this is looking like a pretty good turn for them. So what is the most efficient way to block this out? The next one is going to come in for 5. So if I block 3 off the current funnel, Dyadic Carapace, Grasp of the Arknight, I can block 7. And then when the next one comes in for 5, I can block Burn Up and Shock and Face Purgatory. And then I can let the last one hit. I don't really want to let the last one hit, but I think that since this is a double Lumina turn, this is... yeah, I think this is just the best play we have here. It's just to force all the cards out of their soul. And we can't stop the next one. So instead of fighting over the top of it and taking some damage and losing our turn, I'm just going to try to throw 8 points here with an on-hit effect. And we're going to... ooh, the Sink Below is a big hit for us there. Because it means the Sink Below goes to the bottom and they only gain 1 life that turn, which is really good for us. So that kind of lined up in our favor. We had to use a lot of our equipment, but on a double Lumina turn, I really think that's worth it, to be honest. Being able to deny them as much of the double Lumina turn is a very good effect for us. Really? Well, I don't... man, that's interesting. So they're only going to take 2 here and go to 26, and then we have another breakpoint attack. Like, I understand that they wanted to put the Banneret of Courage into their soul, but it felt like there was probably, like, I don't know, feels a little aggressive to block there like that, because now you're forced to give up the Iron Song verses or have a defense reaction here. And we've seen a Saving Grace pitched, they've played a Saving Grace, and they've put a Sink Below to the bottom of their deck. So they are forced into giving us 2 cards here because of their blocking decision early on. I'm just going to say no blocks, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and give them the Sink Below. And then we're going to play both sides of Burn Up and Shock, play Gone Up and Flash and Lightning Press it. We also have the option to block with the Burn Up and Shock to deny our opponent the on-hit effect of Bolt of Courage, and then throw Gone Up and Flash for 7, and then Arsenal the Sink Below. But I like the idea of pushing the on-hit effect of the Burn Up and Shock. I think using that to like push 4 extra damage. I really guess 5 extra damage. You have to think about it that way, because Burn Up is basically a 0 for 5 when you get both sides to hit. And since they have no Arcane Barrier, we know this is going to hit. And then we're going to come in for 4. I think the best thing that could happen here for us is that they give us 2 cards to try and play around the Burn Up side of the card, and then we're just able to blow them out anyway. I think that's absolutely best case scenario for us here, but we'll see what happens. I mean, if they only give us 1 card, I was like, I'm definitely just going to Arsenal the Lightning Press. I am not going to return Gone in a Flash in my hand, but I do want to get this on-hit effect, and then we retake the lead and take 2 cards out of their hand. I don't think there's a reason to block here. We have a really solid hand. Our hand is just 4/4, potentially 4. I guess it kind of depends on how they block and what they want to do here. We have the ability to Arsenal the blue Lightning Surge this turn, and this is actually one of the reasons that I'm a really big fan of having blue Lightning Surge in the deck, is that with a hand like this, it lines up to where we can actually throw 12 at them, threaten an on-hit effect, and then Arsenal a go-again attack that also turns on Starfall and our hero ability. Okay, getting Sink Below out there feels really good, because I doubt they have a second one, right? So we could get a little aggressive here if we wanted to, and we could snap the Snatch if they don't block. But I guess it just really depends on how they play this out. I don't think I want to. I have a pretty good Arsenal target, and like I think this is okay. Yeah. I think we'll just go ahead and guarantee that we set up the go again attack here and just like get the value that we can. So this does not have +3, and this does not have its text box. I kind of like the idea of blocking 6, taking 1, and then we're going to go Lightning Surge into Discharge Static Shock for 7. Now, we also have the ability to use like E-Strike for draw card on snaps, but I think that we can just take the good value play this turn and take 1 and then try to push a bunch of damage. Illuminate is tough. That was a pretty good hand. Do I want to give them the Illuminate? I think that denying them the soul when they don't have any can really go a long way. So I think we can really line that up. I think arsenaling the discharge is okay. I know that like we had the option to do that anyway last turn, but I think that this lined up in an okay way for us. All right, this hand really lines up. We can use snaps. As long as they're not threatening lethal here, we can pretty much do what we want this turn. Yeah, so they are going to charge both cards, it looks like. So this is going to come in for 5. I'm going to say no blocks. What were the 2 cards they charged? Saving Grace. All right, so we know that there's 1 Sink Below we haven't seen yet, and that there's 1 Saving Grace. No, that's actually all the Saving Graces, so there's a Sink Below we haven't seen. I will just go to 4 here. No reason to block or do anything crazy. So we have to make sure that we play this turn correctly. So we're going to go Entwine Lightning fused with the Flittering Charge. So this is going to be 4 go again. I think this hand lines up really nicely for us to use snaps with it. And then it's going to be Flittering Charge. Flittering Charge is for 4. We are going to play the discharge from Arsenal to give this go again in our next attack plus 3. And then we're going to throw Gone in a Flash for 7. Snapdragon Scalers is getting the same value as an embodiment of lightning here, which is exactly what we want. We are going to snap. In the resolution step when this deals damage, we're going to play this, return it to our hand. And now we're going to come in for 7 one more time, and we're going to force, if they have a defense reaction, at minimum 1 card out of their hand. But if not, we're going to force both cards out of their hand. And they had a no block, so we were just able to close it out right there with good play and getting a lot of value out of our Snapdragon Scalers. Turn 3 went about as well as it could for us. We started with an Arc Lightning against an opponent who had 0 Arcane Barrier, and then we used the Burn Up and Shock to chew through a lot of their equipment, and then our opponent made the decision to let the Lightning Surge hit at the end of the chain. We did have to come off of an Arsenal, but we were able to push a lot of damage, chew through their equipment, and put ourselves into a good spot moving into turn 4. It was very easy to see why our opponent kept a lot of their cards and took the burn up hit on the previous turn. They had a double Lumina turn, which is very powerful, especially that early on in an aggro mirror. But we were in a spot where we had all of our equipment, we had a non-attack action to block with, and it really lined up for us. I was able to only take 1 of the Lumina hits and really block a lot of damage and prevent them from gaining a ton of life. Plus them revealing a Sink Below off one of the Lumina triggers is a massive W for us. The turn that was the nail in the coffin was a crazy Gone in a Flash turn with multiple Electrostatic Discharges, which honestly really shouldn't surprise anybody. Gone in a Flash is a crazy broken card, especially when you have snaps available to you. So putting the game away and ending it felt pretty good right there, and it always feels good to get use out of Gone in a Flash. I actually think that Boltyn versus Aurora is an insanely close matchup, where I do think Aurora is slightly favored. Like, I'm going to say like 55-45, but a good Boltyn player will really give you a run for your money. And remember, after watching this game, always be prepared because you never know what people are going to be playing. Guys, if you see anything you think I missed or something I could have done better, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.